Hey YouTube, it's JG here doing a video about a story that happened 2 years ago at the Detroit, Michigan Nationals. I'm here with my good old friend Nick Stetson, also known as Pro Stetson, and I'm going to let him go ahead and talk about what happened 2 years ago and what just happened as of recent.
Well, thank you, JG. Well, in 2014, I got my invite for the first time on and off playing for 10 years, and I got mine with Boojins, and Jose got his with Mermails. Well, something pretty crazy happened. We decided to go all out and actually go to the national tournament that year. You know, we'd been playing for a long time. We never actually got our invites at the same time, so it was something we wanted to do together. So I actually sold my Boojin deck. I think Yamato's at the time. Boojin Yamato was 35. Some of the other cards, I think the Ultimate Extra Deck cards were like 35. So everything was pretty pricey. And before I went to this tournament, I wanted some cash money, maybe to make a good investment, and maybe buy cards, sell cards, whatever, outside the event, and then during the event, play. I borrowed a bunch of cards, and Jose, if you've ever seen some of his binder videos, has very, very unique cards. Very rare cards, expensive cards, whatever you want to call them. So I had borrowed some cards from him. Of course, he lets me borrow the most expensive cards he has. And then I borrowed some more cards from other people. At the time, I think Effect Veilers were 40 apiece, Ultra, First Edition. Upstart Goblins, I think, were 50 each at the time from the Turbo Pack. And I borrowed all these cards to play this deck because, again, I had sold mine. I wanted the money, and you know, I didn't think anything bad was going to happen. That's where this box comes in. This box. It's addressed to me, and I recently just got this, and it's from Konami Digital Entertainment. Now, I cut it open, and I have not looked at the deck inside. The story behind this is that during the third round, I was 2-1. I was going into the fourth round. I was 2-1, just come off a loss. And I had sat down to play the next round. So I rolled out this match, and believe it or not, until this actually came back, this is all I had from the national tournament. So I laid down this mat, pulled out my deck, and then I realized, wait a second, where is my deck? I was baffled. Well, the match before, I had packed all my stuff up, got up, walked over. Somebody asked me for something. I pulled my deck out of this bag right here, the same Yu-Gi-Oh bag I've had for like 4 or 5 years. Pulled my deck out, set it on the table next to me, pulled the binder out, got the card out, handed it to the kid, traded whatever, I can't even remember, I was so pissed. Put my binder back in the bag, zipped up the bag, and walked away. I left my deck on the table. So I'm panicking because the next round started. Of course, somebody's sitting at the table where I thought I left it. First instinct is, I told my opponent, I said, I just lost a $500 deck. At the time, that's what it was worth. And it didn't even dawn on me that I had sold all my cards. So the cards that I had were borrowed. So I go to the front desk, they told me they hadn't seen a deck. Well, of course not. Who's going to report a deck? You know, people, they always say that what is it? I like your stuff, you like your stuff, we all like your stuff, and if you leave your stuff laying around, the person who likes your stuff is going to take your stuff. Scott Summers, really famous for saying that. If you guys are from the Midwest, or go to like the Minnesota regionals, Des Moines regionals, Fargo, the Kansas Lenexa.
Des Moines.
I'm still kind of bitter about that, but I got a message on Facebook from a guy by the name of Christopher, I believe, and it's May now, so probably around May 15th, I had the message and I read it. I realized it was from April 1st, so for 2 months, for a month and a half, I basically ignored that message because I don't answer Facebook messages from random people. But it was irritating me that there's a message in there. So I opened it up. And it literally said, hey, I don't know you, but I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Chris, and however you say his last name. I'm not going to mention it just for privacy reasons. But he said, did you happen to be at the Detroit National Tournament, if I can speak right? And I was like, yes. And it just kind of lit up. Because I hadn't thought about that for the 2 years. I tried to bury it. So then, anyways, we start talking, and he ends up saying, well, we found a deck, and we want to see if it's yours. Can you tell us what's in there? And I told him basically several of the cards. Sorry, that was my daughter. But I told him several of the cards And he said, yeah, it was a Bujin deck. And he said, we found your Kasi ID number in the inside of the deck box. And he said, that's how I was able to contact you. I found your name out, and for 2 years it was in a storage room. Now, I have an idea that they sent a letter. They always send a letter with these kind of things. So, let's dig into this and...
Right. So...
Are you still recording?
Yes, I am. So basically, I'm assuming that's a letter from Konami on top. Again, guys, the plastic had already been cut off just to make things easier. It had a lot of tape on it. But okay, so can you show the letter? No name, if there's any. Just alright. So it is a letter from Konami, and can you please read it without reading the name of the person that it was sent by?
Hello, Nick. I'm very glad we were able to get in touch with you and return your deck. It turned out that it was lost and found at the WCQ after the event. The tournament organizer will hold on to items for a few months in case attendees contact them about missing items. The box of items in which your deck was found was apparently misplaced a number of months ago during an official cleaning and only recently rediscovered. It was very fortunate that you had placed your Kasi ID sticker on the inside of the flap of the box. Without this identification, we would not have been able to return your deck. And then it says Chris, coordinator, card business, Konami Digital Entertainment. And then the bottom of the letter has this on there. But I'd like to thank Chris if he watches this, or if somebody shows him this video. I really like to thank him personally. I was going to send him a message, but or like an actual thank you. That's the polite thing to do. But I never got a response back to his official address, since this box, this return address, wasn't addressed to him. But if somebody could get that for me, or if he lets me know, I just want to thank him for doing this, because I'm not even sure what's in here. I'm not sure if a bunch of scavengers scavenged the cards and then turned in the empty shell.
So how about if we open it, see what's in there, if the complete deck was sent back, or if it was just partial.
Sure. And I'm not gonna lie, this is stressful right here, because I'm not sure if any of you have ever lost any kind of money. And I mean, even if you're rich, losing something that's very valuable to you still hurts. And I mean, when I started my first job, I was making $625. My first paycheck was like $300 for 2 weeks, because I was paid bi-weekly. And that was at Wendy's several years ago. So money is hard to come by when you're first starting out, and being a college student, losing $500 isn't something that just turns over, it's not something easy to do. So when I found this and heard about this, it brought a great relief to me. And there was actually a token that Jose and I have that meant more to me than the deck. And I know that kind of sounds corny, but it's things that you do with the people that you're friends with that actually make the difference. Like, I wouldn't play Yu-Gi-Oh! if my friends didn't. It's something that I did, I enjoyed. I traveled to freaking Little Rock, Arkansas. Alright, that was an 8-hour drive from here. That sucked. That sucked. And then I got, was it like 17th place, and top 16 got in.
Top 16.
And going into the second to last round, I was first, and then I lost, and I was 7th, and then I dropped to 17th with chain burn. But I mean, I never would have had those memories. Words can't even describe it. So that's why the token means a lot to me. And I actually sent out a couple messages to some people saying, hey, if you see this, I don't care if they kept the cards, I just wanted the token. So without further ado, here is the deck.
Alright, go ahead and open it.
God, this is... So it looks like the deck's here. If you can see that, that's my Kasi ID number that he was talking about. Hot Debunk. Debunk was a very expensive card at the time. Ha! Fosse's Bible. For those of you who don't know, we call JG Fosse. It's just a nickname that we've had for him. And it was funny because I had a rule book, and he was trying to rule shark me one time. Not rule shark me, but we were trying to prove a ruling, and I just happened to have a rule book. It didn't have the ruling in there that we needed, but that's why I created the unwritten rules of Fosse.
If anyone wants to see the unwritten rules, can you read them?
Play with what you're comfortable with. Always Google card rulings instead of using the playbook, or the rule book when playing Fosse. Don't play frogs no matter what day regional is on. And then Rule 26 was never written, but that was just kind of a joke to us, and that has seen some age.
That brings some memories, and it's an older book. It's been through some time. It was probably one of the first books when we started playing back in 2012.
It's version 8, so I mean it probably is newer, but still, I never thought I would have ever seen that again. And should I do the main deck first or the?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, you guys don't even know how excited I am to see this. Ha! That was like $50 at the time.
Oh yeah.
This card got me my invite to nationals. It got me my invite at regionals, or whatever you want to say. So when Fire Fist was pretty popular, got rid of all his bears and his gorilla. And he had nothing else, and I had nothing, and he overextended, and he couldn't do anything. He couldn't pop anything because he didn't have any bears or anything. But he overextended to go for the win, and he thought that I only played Royal Decree. So when Royal Decree was gone, and he saw 3 of them in my graveyard, he saw this, and he thought he was good. And then he overextended, and I flipped this, ended up going off and getting my invite. First edition MST. That belonged to my friend that I borrowed because I didn't have an extra common. That was like 35.
And by the way, guys, when these cards were paid off when the deck was stolen by Nick, he paid everyone who he borrowed cards. So those cards actually belong to him now. It's like he purchased them full price. So
at the time, like I said, Yamato's $35 a piece, and they're $2.50 now. But that's first ed. I bought that from Ricky. I had to get him a new one that was, I just gave him an MRL one that was mint, and then I gave him like $15 cash. Yamato. That actually is the card in my, I'm pretty sure my token's in there somewhere. If, you know, everything seems to be here, I'm pretty sure the token's going to be there. But that was the card I held up in the picture. First edition, that was like $20. Ultimate.
Back in the day.
Forbidden Lance, first ed, 25. Kaiser Coliseum, 5, 50. Pot of Duality were 5s. I don't even think these were worth anything, but
they were like 10s at that time.
Fosse, you remember this? Spanish.
Well, not that one specifically.
Well, yeah, but I would have never gotten that if he didn't trade it to me. There's 10. $40 cards.
40 cards, so all the cards in the main deck are there, including the upstarts, which are the expensive ones. Those are still worth something.
Shuffle one deck, man. The last time I did that, I power shuffled my deck at after the end of each match, just to make sure things don't clump up. And that was the last time I shuffled this. Feels pretty good. So the extra deck, debunks were 20. Vanity's Emptiness, $15 common. Those.
Yep. Those were 20 at the time.
Twisters, first ed. Alfonso, I borrowed those from him, but like Fosse said, I paid him off. DD Crows.
And Psycho Readers. So 15.
Oh man. Yeah. Oh, there's a dice in here. Oh yeah, this is the dice you gave me. They went to...
It's an actual Evolution Gaming, I believe. It's a believe it's a Milwaukee, Wisconsin locals from there.
Oh, right on the bottom.
Oh, so the token is there. Let me zoom in. There's the token that you were looking for.
Brand new sleeves too.
And
these are still fresh.
Yep, those were the original sleeves from that Nationals.
It's funny because when I got my sleeves, I told everybody who I borrowed cards from. I said I'd give you 15 sleeves for your extra deck of the WCQ sleeves because they were nice this year. I told them I'd give them 15 just for letting me borrow the cards. So Honor Arcs? Oh, jeez.
At that time they were
40 first ed, or 40 unlimited, 45 first ed, and 55 ultimate. And I borrowed both of those because I had ultimates at the time, and then I sold them. And then first edition Cowboy, Paladynamo, crazy box in case they flipped skill drain. First ed.
Waller.
And then 10.
Yep.
So yeah, YouTube. Thanks again, Chris.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. I mean, I think this video just kind of like if it's gonna teach us something is that Konami, even though they do some crazy things as a business, they also do generous things. Yeah. So thank you so much,
also,
Chris, if you're watching this.
Make sure you guys put your Crossy ID. I don't care what you do, write it somewhere, because if you do lose it, there's always that chance. And I mean, it's 2 years later, but it's
just nice, you know.
Yeah, I mean, geez, they didn't have to do that. They actually spent money sending it out to me.
Mm-hmm. So do you have any final words?
If somebody at Konami's watching this, ban Burning Abyss.
Alright. Well, anyways, thanks for watching, guys. If you guys have any questions to Nick, I will leave his YouTube channel. You guys can get in hold of him through YouTube. We won't be giving out Facebook or any other information, or you guys can contact me through YouTube, and we will get you some information on how to make the initial contact if you ever lost a deck. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching.